Okay. Ya guys, Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So today we're gonna have agenda that is become English talk. So in this topic, we will talking about Beyond Borders, a spectacular journey of backpacker across 20 countries. Okay, so but before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Kaskar Sendria. Uh, in here,
and my
host one. Yeah.
and my name is Zabran Ashafik. And I'm being host too.
Okay, so going to the first question for the guest. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your experience joining the 20 countries backpacker program at IDN?
Okay, uh, may I present like presentation? Do some presentation.
Oh
Share
yes, yes,
screen.
can.
Okay.
Course.
Mm, Oh, yeah. Okay. Is the presentation is see it?
Yes, yes, only appeared.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I can start now. Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Oke, alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain amma ba'du. Okay, hello guys. At first, I'm gonna introduce myself. Hello, my name is Muhammad Rafi Aswandi, and you can call me Rafi, or yeah, just Rafi actually. And now I'm from 11 RPL from IDN Backpacker, and now yeah, I already visit 20 more than 20 countries actually, and yeah, I born in Indralaya and 25 December 2007. So I will be eight. I'm 19 this year. So yeah, I'm kind of old maybe. Yeah. Okay. So we can begin for explaining about backpacker first maybe.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So about IDN Backpacker itself. So IDN Backpacker is a program from IDN boarding school that requires students to explore the world abroad with the intention of speaking new knowledge and experiences. So, Identity Backpacker itself has been do it 3 times, and my class is the fourth time. So there is IDM Backpacker 3 countries, IDM Backpacker 9 countries, and also 11 countries. And for myself is IDM Backpacker 20 countries. So yeah, so that's all about of IDN Backpacker. And the next is maybe what country that we visit. Uh, okay, so each time each program backpacker program have a different countries that we visit. For ourselves, we have 20 around 20 more than 20 actually country that we visit. The first is Malaysia, and the second is Egypt, and the third Morocco, then Netherlands, go to the Europe, Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, Czech Republic, and then this is Hungary, and also we go to Austria, Slovakia, and Serbia, and then Bulgaria, and then we go again to Turkey. After from Turkey, we go to Saudi Arabia, and then Nepal, then we go to Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, and go back to Indonesia. But these 3 countries, that China, Hong Kong, and Macau, is the transit country. So from Malaysia, we transit to China and go to Egypt. And from for Hong Kong and Macau, we go from Vietnam to Hong Kong, then from Hong Kong to Macau, then go back again to Hong Kong to go back to Indonesia. Yeah. Okay, so this is all the list of all country in IDN Backpacker. 2025 to 2026. Okay, so I got a lot of question. Why do we do backpacker? Okay, so the first thing why we do a backpacker is because it's the command of Allah Azza wa Jalla. You can see it is from the Quran, the comment from the Quran. And the second is because of the to build a strong character. Okay, as Rasulullah SAW said, the strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah than the weak believer. Although there is a goodness in both, strive for what benefits you and seek help from Allah in all your affairs and never give up or feel helpless. And the next is to make independent character. So, same like before, Rasulullah SAW said, no one has ever eaten better food than that earned through the work of their own hands. Indeed. Okay, so in backpacker, of course, we not like the others, like other score or maybe other brands in IDN. In IDN backpacker, we cook the food for ourselves, so we get the ingredients. Like we go to the market to buy some ingredients like the vegetables, and then we cook it by ourselves. We have a team, so each day a different team that will cook and also different team that will go to the market to get something. And then we also, yeah, so we need to think how do we have limited money, of course, so we need to think how to manage our money so we can survive in that country and eat well too. Yeah. Okay, and the next is to make creative thinking and problem solving. Of course, backpacking often involves unexpected situations such as losing belongings, transportation problems, or communication difficulties. In this situation, we learn to stay calm and think creatively to solve problem. Every challenge become an opportunity to grow and discover solutions. So we may never have thought of this before. This experience also helps us become more resilient, adaptable in facing life challenges. And the last is becoming the part of citizen of the world. So Idol Baker is lets us experience different cultures and meet diverse people like people from Asia, from Africa, from Europe, and the others, and also learn various ways of life. Like, yeah, maybe in Indonesia the weather is so hot, but in Europe the weather is so cold. So, and there's a different way for them to live. Yeah, there's actually a lot of people way to live, and that's all help us to appreciate the differences and builds tolerance and understanding of diversity. Okay, okay, maybe that's all. Okay, so maybe we're gonna talk about my experience in backpacker.
Okay, so can I give you some several questions?
Oh yeah, sure.
So, what was your first reaction when you found out you were going backpacking across 20 countries?
Okay, my reaction to that. Okay, so the first thing in my life, like before I joined backpacker, I never thought that I will go around the world, around 20 countries. So that time, I still not in IDN. I'm still in the other school. And then my parents call me if I want to join IDN back. So in junior high school, in junior high school, I school in IDN Jonggol. But then when I graduate and go to senior high school, I go to other school, not IDN again. So that time, my parents called me and do you want to transfer again to IDN? So I said, maybe yeah, sure, okay. So my parents registered me to IDN backpackers school, and that time I even didn't know that I will go to 20 countries. And when I get home and I join IDN backpackers school, Well, I'm kind of surprised that I will go to 20 countries. After 1 year in 10th grade, 11th grade, I finally go to the first country, that is Malaysia. And that time, I think, wow, how did I get here? Like, I never imagined myself going to abroad without my parents, or my just like alone with my other friends from school. I never imagined like something like that. So it's very very like unexpected experience and unforgettable memories. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, maybe what was the hardest preparation before the trip?
Okay, the hardest preparation before the trip is actually on the language, of course, and also about the money. So let's first go to the language. So of course, different countries, different region, there's a lot of language. So the first time I got this difficulty when I land in China, because most of Chinese people cannot speak English. Even they are a college student, they cannot speak English. So it's kind of hard for us to ask to the way, or ask him some food that it is halal or not. And also when we buying something, it's gonna be hard for us to know it because of the different language. The language barrier is very making us hard in this backpacker, and that's why in IDN backpacker we need to learn English, because of course English is the worldwide language, we can say that, because a lot of people can speak English. So even that, if we already understand English, we still cannot speak with other people that didn't understand English, maybe like Chinese people or Nepalese people. Yeah, there's also a lot of people cannot do English, so it's kind of difficult to communicate with other people. Where maybe we communicate with hand language like this or this, and yeah, just like that. And also about the second thing difficulties to prepare backpacker is also the money, because outside uh, outside Indonesia have different currency. Maybe like in the Europe, Europe currency is euro. Like that time, 1 euro is equal to 20,000 rupiah, and in 1 euro you can only get some bottle of water. So if you want to eat something in Europe, it's gonna be difficulty. It's gonna be expensive because yeah, we only have little money to buy, because average food in Europe is around 5 euro or 10 euro. That's around 100,000 to 200,000 rupiah. So yeah, it's kind of making us hard to live in Europe, especially in Europe. But the other countries, actually, there is still like Hong Kong, maybe. In Hong Kong, you for 40,000 rupiah, you can only get a bottle of water for some reason. I don't know why it's so expensive. So yeah, so that's all the maybe the difficulty in backpacker to prepare the backpacker. Yeah.
Okay, so the next is, before this program, were you already into traveling, or was this your first big experiences?
Okay. Yeah. Before backpacker, this is my first time experience going all the world, go around the world. So this is my first experience, because yeah, as I said before, I never thought that I will go to abroad or seaside country. And yeah, so this is my very first time going to uh, other countries, and also the most first thing I go within the home.
Okay, and then what was the most important item you always carried during the trip?
Okay, the most important item that I carry while backpacker 20 of course, passport and other document. Because why passport and other document is very very important for the trip, because if you lose it, you will go back to Indonesia. So it's very very important to protect your passport and also your document like visa or homestay letter, and maybe some note like letter from the school that we are doing backpacker. That's very important because sometimes there's random thing do in backpacker, like my experience in Turkey. When we got off the train, my some of my friend got stopped by the police, the local police, and they were asked for to show their passport. Luckily, at that time, I carry my passport and I also didn't get it X. So only my friend that getting X their passport, but he actually bring his passport, so he's okay. That I worried is because other my other friends didn't bring his passport, so it's kind of nervous because if he get X and he didn't show his passport, he's gonna be get like interrogated by or getting arrested, not arrested actually, just get bring by the police to the office to explain them, because if we don't bring our passport or our document, we will like be illegal in that country. So that's why you must always bring your passport and other document, even though you are going to maybe going to the market, just bring your passport because we don't know what will happen in the trip. So yeah, yeah, that's the most important thing in backpacker.
Okay, so the next question for me is, which country that left the biggest impression on you and why?
Sorry, maybe can you repeat your question?
Okay, so which country left the biggest impression on you?
Okay, so the biggest country with my biggest impression. Okay, so the biggest country that impressed me so much is Europe, of course, because Europe is more advanced than us, and their currency is also strong. And I kind of like the weather in Europe because that time when we go to Europe is October. It's like autumn. Yeah, that time the weather is autumn, so it's not really cold, but it's not really hot. Not really hot. Actually, it's cold, but for me it's normal. Actually, it's kind of comfort me. The weather is comfort me, and also I like the structure in the Europe, and also I kind of like the food in Europe. But actually, for the food, of course, Indonesia is number one. If you compare to other countries, well, their food's kind of bitter for me. So yeah, the biggest impression is Europe and also Saudi Arabia, because in Saudi Arabia we go to Makkah and Medina, the holy city for Muslim, and also maybe the closest country that we visit and that very impressing me is Malaysia, because even though Malaysia is our neighbor, and Malaysia we can call Malaysia is smaller than us, but uh, actually their country is so developed, and their civilization is so modern, like it's better than us. So yeah, their government is also better. Yeah, that's the biggest thing for my impression.
Okay, so what was the biggest culture shock you experienced during the backpacker?
Okay, the biggest culture shock in backpacker, maybe the culture shock is about the food and also the weather. Like, okay, so the first is about the weather maybe. So in Morocco, even though Morocco is located in Africa, but the weather is actually kind of uh, cold, not really hot, not warm, but it's kind of cold because uh, Morocco is located near the sea, so it's, I don't know, for some reason the weather is so cold. Not cold. I mean, it's cold, not hot at all, even though it's Africa. And then also the culture shock is about the food, maybe in like Malaysia, even though Malaysia is near from us, but if you go to Malaysia and you want to buy something, like maybe example, you want to buy some iced tea, you don't say iced tea, but you say iced tea original, because if you say iced tea, you will get uh, Thailand tea instead of the real iced tea. And also the culture shock is of maybe in Egypt and some countries like Egypt, Morocco, and also Turkey, because in there the people is kind of racist. Like in Morocco, I got called Chinese people, like by the Morocco kids call me I'm Chinese. Like they say ni hao, like that is kind of racist, and they also like I don't know racist to us. And also the Turkey is the people, even though Turkey maybe we saw Turkey as developed country and maybe a Muslim country, but actually in Turkey not really like that. I mean, Turkey people is kind of ignoring us, and also their kids is also very annoying to us. Like they throw us a rock to our window, something like that. And also another culture shock is in Laos, because in Laos, like people don't care at all about yourself. Like maybe I don't know, because this is the different of ideology or the others, because Laos maybe Laos is not really far from Indonesia, but that country is so so back like back developed country. Like it's not modern. I mean, not really modern. Like the tallest building maybe is just 8 stories building and something like that. But yeah, that's all the culture shock. And also the culture shock is maybe the toilet, because other country don't have water in their toilet, don't have bidet in their toilet. So, like example in Europe, if you go to toilet in Europe, you need to bring a bottle of water to wash yourself, yeah, to clean yourself. Yeah, it's kind of bad experience for me actually. Yeah, that's all the culture shock actually for me while doing backpacker.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, the question is, what was the most unique food that you've tried?
Okay, the unique food that I try. Maybe the most unique food I try is in Nepal. Maybe yeah. Also in Nepal, there's food like it's like a dim sum, and they call it momo. It's actually very good food. And also the other is maybe in Europe, in the Netherlands, there's food called stroopwafel. It is a waffle with a caramel inside it, and it's the food is actually very good. But the most thing I love in bakery is maybe in in Morocco, because in Morocco there's a lot of food like a bread, some food like pasta, and because Morocco is actually were invaded by France back time, so their food is also have French French taste. Even though we don't go to France, but we got the taste of French food. So, yeah, like that. But the most thing I like for the food is actually Nepal and also Asia, because Europe food is so bitter. So yeah, I prefer Nepalese food, because Nepalese food is cheap and making us full, and also is very good and very delicious. Yeah.
Okay, so I think for the last question for me is, a lot of people think that traveling is always fun, but what was actually the hardest part of this backpacker program?
Sorry, maybe can you repeat again your question?
So a lot of people think traveling is always fun, but what was actually the hardest part of this program?
The hardest part.
Yeah.
Okay, the hardest part in backpacker maybe it's about maybe internal, because in backpacker we go together with our friends, we go together with the teachers, and if you're not like going well with your friend, if you're not close to your friend, it's gonna be a difficulty. Maybe there's sometimes difficulty like one group don't want to be friend with the other group. On in that group there is another group like you only play with certain people, not all people. Like you don't go together, it's gonna be hard to, because you need to be collaborate with the others. You need to always stick together. Like you don't play by your all yourself, but you need to work together to go through this backpacker, because if you don't going well, yeah, it's gonna interrupt the others too. Like my story, my there's one time that my team is not corporate, so yeah, it's kind of hard that time because one people don't want to listen to the others and always get out by himself, and we got the consequences too. So that's the hardest part, the hardest thing in backpacker while doing backpacker, because you need to get well with your friend, you need to close with your friend, always together. You need to always be one team, and don't always do by yourself. Yeah, th- that's the most hardest thing in backpacker.
Okay. So my next question is, what experience changed your perspective on the world the most?
Okay, so my experience that changed my perspective. Okay, so the first thing that changed my perspective of the world is maybe in um, Egypt. Okay, the first time I arrived in Egypt, I see the people is like so bad. Like for me is, for my perspective is maybe Egypt is too tough. The people is so tough and always get mad easily. But actually, people in Egypt is actually very kind. They always give us free food. They always offer us to ride somewhere, and their people is very good, and they always give us discount when we buy some food in Egypt. And also Egypt food, things in Egypt is very cheap, and their people is actually very good, because there's also a lot of Indonesia student in Egypt, especially in Al Azhar Cairo. That's why Egypt people is very close to us, especially if you say that where they ask where are you from, and we say Indonesia, Indonesia, like they like us. So yeah, that changed my perspective. And also the other thing changed my perspective. Maybe not all people is actually good. Maybe like they seem look good, but they're actually not really good. Maybe like in Morocco, the kid is actually look nice, but they're not nice at all. Like they kind of racist to our group and other thing. And also people in Turkey, I know some people, I heard before, the people in Turkey is not really good for me, but actually some people there are still good in Turkey. Like there's one guy like grandpa and old man. Yeah, I don't know. Some old guy always visit us and give us free food. Actually, first time in Turkey because of the Turkey kid that always racist to us, and also one time we got a problem with Turkey police because our home got raided that night, and we kind of don't like Turkey people at all. And my perspective is already bad, but later that time, some old man come to our house and then give us some free food, like a bread with a curry, and that food is actually very nice. And the most, the thing that I make it happy to him is that he gave us the food when it's raining and it's so cold. Like it's 10 Celsius in Turkey that time, and he go to our house without an umbrella and give a food to our place. So yeah, that's changed my perspective to Turkey people. So there's not all people is bad, but some people is very good, but not every people is also good. So something like that.
Okay, so uh, it's a very good experience and it's a pleasure to you, Brother Raffi Aswanti. So I think we
Okay.
can close the agenda by I think I have warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys.